Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Liquor Talk Podcast, the podcast where we sip real drinks and have real grown folks conversations. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and they're watching this on YouTube and TikTok as well. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in for this month's men's only round. We're kicking off the month of June. I'm your man, Victor. You see, I got my dog, JD Jugs, from the Book of Clarity. What's going on, man? How you doing today, man?
Blessed and highly favored. Been doing my thing on my end because you deeply inspired me, bro. So I appreciate you. You know we roll deep. We've been doing this for many years now.
Yes,
really,
we have.
People should know what time it is because we're going to make sure that black men are healing, black men get therapy, and we out here.
Yes, you already know what it is. It's all about black men getting therapy and having conversations that black people want to hear about, you know. So shout out to you. And also shout out to you as well, man, because I've been seeing you doing your thing, man, with you talking to every politician. Every time I go to his page, he got a new politician on. I'm like, my dog is out here in these streets putting in work, my God.
Man. You know, I've always been, you know what I'm saying, God gave me the gift of being passionate about politics and our administration system. You know, midterms of this year, you know, some people are saying it could be the last midterms. And we'll get into all that later, but I appreciate you supporting me, man. You know, I see you in the background pushing me on. It means a lot to me, so I appreciate you.
Of course, man, because that's what we got to do, man. You done shown up for me for years, man. You the last of a dying breed because, you know, you remember back in 2020 when we started this men's only round, we were all doing this virtual, you know, so shout out to the other guys out there, you know, who was with us in the beginning. We still got love for you, and the door is always open for you to come back. So we'll start like this. Shout out to everybody that's watching us on YouTube Live as well. So, Jay, man, overall, what have you learned from talking to these candidates?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things that I want to tell everybody is your hopes and dreams can still come true.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these candidates are experts. They might be architects. They might be property managers. They might be living in the neighborhood or in the community or in the city all their life, multi-generation. They just don't have the push in the algorithm. And what a lot of them need and what a lot of us need is social media managers in order to get their voice out. And so, you know, I've been helping them do that in a very small capacity I'm able to do. You know, like everybody else, I got to work. I got a full schedule, you know what I'm saying? I got a family at home. But I'm passionate about this because politics means power.
Of course.
And I want everybody to participate in the process so they don't get that power taken away, which is what they've been doing a lot lately, man.
Man, they've been having a field day just ravaging the power. And it's like, because this tells me one thing. It tells me they're scared. It tells me they're gerrymandering. They're trying to take away the black vote. And that seems like that's been the only thing that this administration has been successful at, is taking away the black vote, trying to devalue the black vote. Meanwhile, we're paying $5 for gas, damn near $2,000 in rent, the cost of food going up, and they over here with a fucking war, which ain't got nothing to do with us, but they do all because what our brother Godfrey said, which is because somebody don't want to be shown up in the Epstein files. I'm like, what the fuck you think is going to happen when you get your ass out of office?
That's the thing, is they're actually planning right now, Project 2025. I'm sure everybody saw, you know what I'm saying, Liquor Talk went viral, you know what I'm saying? We were talking about that. But check this out. What happened is this. They're not planning for Trump to get out of office. Part of Project 2025 and the subsequent action, Project Esther, is he becomes a king and he becomes a dictator and he doesn't get out of office. And they completely ramshot every single right, every regulation. It's all canceled. Like I said, y'all thought Handmaid's Tale was bad. A lot of people are tuned out because there's so much stuff that they're doing on a daily basis that now we see where they're trying to set it up where they never leave power again. That's the Republican Party. So, no, you're talking about when he leaves office. He's not planning to leave office. He did a January 6th insurrection. He should be tried at the stake just for that.
Listen.
But that's where we're at right now.
That's exactly where we're at right now. And one positive note about this is to anybody out there who failed at life. If you didn't listen to the last episode where I talked to where I talked to an author from Chicago, and she transformed her life. She was a 7-time felon. Well, guess how many times the damn president's been locked up?
How many times?
34 times. And he's leading the fucking world. That should be a message to all of y'all that whatever your dreams are, you can fucking go do them. We got a lunatic in office who'd have been tried 34 times. So when somebody tells you no, you find a way to make it happen.
And guess what? Trump can't even walk in a straight line when he's getting off of Air Force One. He zigzags like he's a kindergarten coloring in a figure on a coloring book. Listen, people, I won't go into grave detail about all the daily actions of Trump. America is bad on the world stage. We're moving away from the petrodollar, which would be catastrophic to Americans. I'm telling you guys right now, if we do not vote en masse, and I mean a 70 to 80% turnout, that's people who are registered to vote and people who are being registered to vote by canvassing and community actions and community organizing across this country, and especially in our state of Florida. If we do not get out and vote in every single election going forward, every right that you thought that you had is going to be ripped away from you. They will say you will be a slave and you will be happy about it. Remember, we're talking about before the show, we're talking about the prison industrial complex. We don't even want to get into
prison reform.
The prison reform and the convict leasing they're doing in Louisiana, and they're doing in Alabama, and they're doing in Mississippi. These people are working for almost like pennies, like they're working for like 30 cents an hour.
Listen, that's
slavery.
It is. If you listen to the last episode, I talked to a lady who was in the prison system. You know, she told me that it's like 30 cents to $1 on the hour that they're getting paid by these privately owned prisons. And guess what? The privately owned prison owners are telling them, hey, we need more convicts. So, and it's sad that Black people make up 13% of the population.
It's more than
that. It's more than that?
It's more than that. See, the problem is, this is another thing, politics. With the census, most Black people don't take the census because our representation in the office
so low.
Has been so bad. We haven't been taken care of. We haven't received our reparations. Other communities have. But I say that to say this. When they say 13%, that's the people that participated in the census.
Yeah.
So many Black people don't participate in the census. It could be even 20% of the population.
It could.
Or more could be Black, potentially.
But how many of that percentage is locked up in the penitentiary, though?
A significant portion.
A significant portion. But yet, all the dangerous crimes are not committed by Black folks. You don't see Black folks out here shooting up the schools. You don't see Black folks out here molesting little kids and stuff. We know there's some sickos out there. We know, but a majority of them are not Black people.
It is much more likely for a young white male to be caught doing something with children. And I don't know if you guys know this while we're on that topic of that conversation. I've seen on my timeline hundreds of people in the Republican Party being arrested for assaulting children sexually, for holding child pornography. Guys,
what the fuck is wrong with these people?
The Epstein files is only the top cover, the icing on top of the cake of a whole slice of different issues that we absolutely need to address.
We really do need to address it, and that's why we need to get y'all asses out to them polls and vote these career lunatics out of office.
And vote and follow me at Book of Clarity on TikTok and YouTube.
Please do.
I break down all of these topics specific to where we live at here in Pinellas County and Florida issues. You guys have a question, all you got to do is shoot me a DM. I can break it down for you. I'm out here. I'm active in my community. I'm a part of organizations. I'm out here doing things with the Democratic Party and some other nonprofit organizations. I'm doing my part, but I need you guys to do your part too. We can do this together. All hope is not lost. If your vote did not have power, they wouldn't be gerrymandering these maps here in Florida.
Yes, and while we're on that subject, what do you think about the NAACP calling the young Black athletes to stop attending these predominantly white institutions? And I thought about it. These goddamn predominantly white institutions, I'm talking about the SEC, you know, the Alabamas, the Floridas, the Georgias, the LSUs, Mississippi State, Tennessee. Them damn schools make billions of dollars on the backs of black athletes. And these people be right there celebrating when Tennessee or Georgia or Alabama win or something. They right there cheering. Yeah. But you want to take away their rights. Go ahead.
So I actually talked about this in one of my shorts over on Book of Clarity on TikTok, and even I posted it here on YouTube as well.
1 second. We about to bring him. I'm gonna let you go back to that, but checking in with us is Mr. New Orleans. Let's see if we can get him.
Wow.
Come on. Come on, technology. Come on.
Are you with us?
Are you there? Come on, technology. We're trying to get our third person on, y'all.
Hold on 1 second, y'all. We're about to be back at it in just a second. Just trying to get
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Liquor Talk. The more you drink, the better we sound. Like I said, we are trying to get this one.
Can you hear me now?
We're trying to, like I said, we're there. Hold on, there he is. Wow, what's up, man?
Can't hear you.
Of course, we can't hear him.
Can you hear me now?
We're trying to get our dog on, y'all. We sorry about this technology. I know we damn near 400 episodes in, y'all, and we still rock with us, y'all. Just rock with us, y'all. But yeah, we damn near 400 episodes in, and we listen. Technology is not the greatest show. We trying to get our dog on.
Okay, so check this out, right?
Go ahead.
While Eno is getting his technology set up, we mentioned already how the Epstein files is just one aspect of what's going on politically and socially in our country with the elite people who run all these corporations and businesses and hedge funds. What we also need to realize is that if we can get out to vote for city council members, if we get out for city commissioners and mayor's elections and the police chiefs, these are people who have power, especially the police chiefs, over our lives on a daily basis. We pay them. They pay taxpayer. We pay our taxpayer money for them. They are supposed to be public servants, not the other way around.
Yes.
So I want to explain to everybody, it starts locally with politics. Get involved with people, run a campaign, go to their events, sacrifice. If you are not at work and you're able to go to their event, go. If you're not able to go to their event, everybody can get on their phone and go to their website of people who are running locally, like the ones I have on my page at Book of Clarity here on YouTube and TikTok, and you will see that there are good people that are running in this area.
Yes,
they just need to get the word out because the algorithm is owned by people who don't want to see us win, who don't want to see us have good lives. We have to be our own saviors. We have to come together as one. And way me and Vic have been together for years, and we've been pushing up Liquor Talk, and we've been making it a staple in our cities. The same thing we can do with politics. It can be done. All hope is not lost. When you see CNN, Fox News, MS Now, MSNBC, and these other networks, you see that there is very little hope. But in fact, there is a lot of hope left. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing all these things to destroy our lives and make us absolutely miserable.
Yes, and they're doing it in secret because they know what they're doing is flawed. They know what they're doing is flawed, and that's why they're doing it in secret. And they're trying to keep the black people out. They're trying to kick out the black politicians. They're trying to lock them up. All right. Can we get them now? Can we get them now?
Hear me now?
Ah, there it is. There it is. What's going on, New Orleans? What's going on, man? How you doing?
Well, I'm trying to stay up like these little rich, racist white folks gerrymandering and shit.
Yeah. We all are, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay up like these Republicans gerrymandering. Talk to me.
Yeah, man.
You're breaking up a little bit. You got a better spot?
Hey, man, you got to find a better spot, man. Your audio keep breaking up, man.
Yeah, we can barely hear anything you're saying.
We can't even hear anything. Yeah, man. You gotta go back, come back in, and find a better spot because your audio is like breaking up.
All right, hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Liquor Talk, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Liquor Talk. Always tapped in with us, y'all. We talk about everything on the men's round. We're gonna take a break from all the topics for a second, because we're 6 months into 2026.
Wow, we're already 6 months in?
6 months in. How you feeling, man? How you feeling so far about?
I feel good because I feel like I'm living out my purpose. For so long, I've been a guest contributor here on Liquor Talk, and I've told you guys to follow me, but I wasn't producing content. I wasn't living in the vision, living in my destiny that God really has for me. But now that I am doing that, now that I have the time, I'm finding out that there's all these people that have been hungering and thirsting to get into politics, to understand the civic process. So even though there's many challenges ahead, I actually do feel really good, and I feel extremely hopeful about our society.
Yes, I feel that. I definitely feel that. 6 months in overall, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling, but I feel like there's more to be done. But you just gotta. I'm just telling myself to be patient because your time is coming. It's like sometimes you get tired of seeing everybody else having the small miracles or everything you think you want, someone else is getting, and things you think you want. But y'all, just be grateful for people and be happy for others accomplishments and stuff because your time is coming. You got to stay patient and stay put into work because of course your time will be coming and you just got to be patient because that's all I've been telling myself because mentally all this shit can wear you down. It sounds hopeless, with all the news and stuff, with everything going on. Shit sound hopeless, but as long as you got life in your body and you got a story to tell, you good. You can come back from anything.
All praise to the Most High, and realize that if He put breath in your body and you woke up this morning, that means He still loves you. That means there's still a purpose. That means we're still here for you. That means you can reach out to people that care about you and we can get you where you need to be. We didn't say it was going to be easy. Mm-hmm. We didn't say it was going to be a cakewalk. We didn't say that you're going to get there tomorrow, but you're going to get there one step at a time. Do not give up. Now is not the time to throw in the towel. Let's get out here. Let's live our dreams. Let's fight.
Yes.
And make our voices heard.
Yes, we're going to fight and make our voices heard. Whatever your lane is, whatever your passion is, find your thing and keep doing it. Even if you don't see the dollar result yet, Because if it was about the dollars, I would have quit Liquor Talk a long time ago. But you know what? I understand that's a higher calling, to get out here and allow people to tell their stories and to make the connections. Because now when you walk into certain rooms, you got something to share with people, Because it used to be you go to networking events, people ask you what you do, you're not really confident. Now you see what you're doing, you can tell them, hey, we're producing shows, we're producing content. And now they want to know about the content you're producing. And it leads to guest appearances and stuff. So 6 months in, I do want to say shout out to everybody that has been on Liquor Talk as well. And also to the people that said no to Liquor Talk, still got love for you, but you know what? You're gonna regret that, I'm being nice, I'm gonna be nice right now, because I could say what I really feel. I could let the South Side of St. Pete come out of me, but
don't do it.
No, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it today, y'all. But ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Liquor Talk. Man, go pour it up if you haven't done so already. Hey, liquor companies, we want to collaborate with y'all. We'll push your drinks out there, man. So y'all gotta come holler at us, man. Speaking of something else you're passionate about, the WNBA. I'm happy that them ladies got paid, man. And the ladies been out here balling. What are your thoughts on the season so far?
Y'all know my Atlanta Dream traded to get Angel Reese.
Yes.
We couldn't be happier. So my team is doing really good so far this year. Actually, they're playing Dallas right now. I'm so happy because I've been following the WNBA for over the decade, since 2014. And at that time, the WNBA got very little respect, had a much smaller fan base, and didn't have the digital footprint that it has today. But now we got the Paige Bukers, the AZ Fuzz, the Raven Johnsons, the Caitlin Clarks, and all these other big names, the Aja Wilson, who's currently the absolute GOAT of the WNBA.
Yes, she is.
Don't forget about Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark barely even playing and producing without volume shooting. If you want to see greatness, you see Aja Wilson.
Yes, please do. And you know what?
And I say that as a diehard Atlanta Dream fan. Go ahead.
And listen, and they were hoping Caitlin Clark was going to be this great white hope. Nothing against her game and nothing like that. Not knocking her game or nothing. But they were trying to put her into position to be this great white hope, to be the Larry Bird of the WNBA. But she gotta want that shit, She gotta stay healthy and she gotta want that shit. You can't just come in here and crown her. But meanwhile, Angel Reese out here putting in work. The black ladies of the WNBA have been putting in work for years. And also, shout out to Houston. The Houston Comets are coming back. The greatest franchise in WNBA history. They won 4 titles at the start of the year. the start of the WNBA. They won 4 titles, and now Houston is getting the team back. The Connecticut Sun, which was originally the Orlando Miracle. Yes, I followed.
Not too far. I see you stuff on your games.
I followed them. Come on, dog. I follow this shit too, man.
Coming in here with that, bro. Okay.
Yes, I know that. I remember when Orlando had the Miracle, and then they moved to Connecticut, and now Connecticut is moving to Houston. The WNBA is coming back to Houston, and also Philadelphia is getting the WNBA.
Detroit
and Cleveland.
The land.
Yes.
Boy, it's going to be big.
Also, shout out to Portland and Toronto. They got the WNBA this year, you know. So.
Don't let Drake sit courtside. It's going to curse your team, Toronto Tempo.
Yes, please. Please don't let the man that releases 3 garbage albums just to get out his UMG contract sit courtside, man. Listen, and for all you Drake fans out there, I'm sorry. Y'all gotta be honest with yourselves, man. Listen, you can be a fan of something and admit that they suck, you know? Because I remember the years when my Buccaneers and Jaguars be sorry. We're fans, but we can admit when a team sucks, when something sucks. But I know some Drake fans are like, oh, that album was just the shit. And I'm like, no, the fuck it wasn't. None of them damn 3 albums were the shit.
The White House took Drake's album art and then they used it for their own promotion. I thought that was really weird, bro.
That was weird.
I don't know what that's about because they haven't said a lot about it, but it's a lot of weird stuff going on at the top with these celebrities and these elites. You got to be really careful who you follow, who you say you're a fan of. Because
yes, that is because all
they do some weird stuff, man.
They do some weird stuff. Hey, did you find a better spot, man? Let's see.
Can y'all hear me?
You know.
Talk to me.
Okay, now we can hear you a little bit.
Yeah, we can hear you a little bit.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
All right, that's good. That's good. How y'all holding up? How y'all living?
Blessed and highly favored.
We blessed and highly favored, man. We over here, we talked about how Toronto just got a WNBA team, and we basically like, Drake, please keep Drake from courtside. We do not need Drake to be the mascot for them ladies, man. You remember that video he did, his first song, You the Best, you the best I've had? He was coaching them damn girls in the video, and the damn girls got their asses whooped, man. So please don't have Drake sitting courtside.
You know he will.
Yeah, man. So what's going on in your universe?
What's going on, man? Because I see you producing content as well.
You know, getting back on track, you know, making money. I got to go out of town next week, getting my bread, get my chickens together. Book number 4 is almost complete, 75%, you dig?
Oh, yes.
I can't wait for that to come out, bro.
I can't wait for that to come out too, man. Listen, we got big shit popping with Liquor Talk. Oh, Liquor Talk, the podcast, the website is 80% done, y'all, by the way. We got the domain secured. We got to put the finishing touches on the website, but that's coming. And also, shout out to my people in Palm Beach. Thank you for a good time in advance because we'll be in Palm Beach real soon. So, listen, what your thoughts on the WNBA season so far?
Based off what I've observed, Aja Wilson is playing the WNBA. I don't hear a lot of Caitlin Clark talks like I've been hearing the past couple of years, but yeah, it's kind of looking real.
I think they're really
looking real Atlanta Dream.
I think they're finally starting to get it.
Yeah, I'm thinking real Atlanta Dream. You hear me? Las Vegas Aces, maybe Connecticut Suns, Atlanta Dream type of title. I can see it.
Yeah, we all can see it. Listen, we're definitely looking forward to it. Shout out to everybody that's tuned into the WNBA. And also, the NBA season is coming to an end as well. Ooh, man, look at here. Ooh. Listen, I think the Western Conference for the next 10 years is going to come down to San Antonio and Oklahoma City. Man, look at here, man. I think the NBA is probably going to come down to the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs for the next 10 to 15 years. Man, look at here. Wemby over here. Man, Wemby said, I'm here. Fuck that shit.
I'm going to add on to y'all first.
Fuck that waiting my time and shit. He said, I'm about to take this shit now.
I'm going to add on to y'all first, Jeremy. This may be some of the best basketball I've watched in some years. Some quality basketball. This is like when the modern day basketball actually makes sense. Personnel, teamwork, coaching, I love it. I'm a fan. So if you ain't on the Wemby bandwagon, be on the bandwagon now.
Yes, and we love it that the players are actually out here balling and not talking about this load management crap. And in the East, it's looking like it's gonna come down to New York is up 2-0 right now. At the time we're recording this, New York, don't fuck this up, New York, because man, look at here, they got a squad. But I'm like, I'm like, New York, don't fuck this up, New York, because y'all looking good right now, and we having to see Stephen A. Smith and this go New York, go New York, go. Okay, don't fuck this up.
I called OKC in New York in the finals, so I might as well just see it all the way through.
The only reason why OKC gonna make it because SGA keep flopping like a pancake from IHOP every other possession. Dudes don't even be touching him. He flopping all over the place. Like his nerves is bad or something, man. Like, what's good with that, bro?
Man, he plays like he got Tourette's.
And yet they gave him the MVP. And that's why Wemby, if y'all watch Wemby looked like he was on a mission, man. He like, I should be the MVP, and he out here playing like it too, man.
Oh my God.
And you know the part that's so crazy? This rivalry gonna be so dope, you hear me? Because he has beef with Chet Holmgren. Now he feels the type of way with SJ with MVP. So yeah, you're right, Vic. This rivalry gonna last at least a good 5 years. At least 5.
It is. At least 5 years. And Oklahoma City got 50 million draft picks, and the Spurs got draft picks as well. So they're gonna keep building out their rosters. So this might be a rivalry for a while,
The last legacy of one Gregory Popovich, Victor Wembanyama. Now his health was fit, but Coach Pop pulled up on Wemby and told him what was good. And ever since then, he been playing lights out basketball.
Yes, he has.
For the Spurs down in San Antonio.
Yes, it might be the next legacy. It's always the Spurs always look up and get a big man, and once they get a big man, they are set, man. So
yes,
look,
I'll say this, Jeremy. When it comes to Wembanyama, people don't realize he had the greatest offseason that I've ever heard. He had offseason training with Hakeem Olajuwon. He practiced. He went to China and did meditation and discipline training with monks.
Wow.
I
didn't know that.
Yeah, this was this past offseason. And here's the part that's crazy. He's 22. He ain't even reached his prime yet. He out chill.
That's why I said OKC and San Antonio. It's gonna come down to them two teams out of the West for a while, unless of course Minnesota does something. Unless Minnesota, the Lakers, and the Nuggets do something free agency, because Minnesota, y'all on the clock too. Because I'm hearing y'all might be losing Ant-Man because he might get the same reality that KG got, that you just can't win in Minnesota.
All I know is, God rest the dead, that's the reason why Charlie Kirk left Minnesota. And we're just going to leave it at that.
Did he really just go there? Of all the people you can mention, man, you mentioned this motherfucker. The motherfucker that was supposed to be allegedly going to be the next president of the United States.
I'll be damned on his grave. I'll be damned. But then again, after Trump,
I put more faith in Erica Kirk than Charlie Kirk as president. What are you talking about?
Lord have mercy.
Have y'all seen the videos lately of Erica Kirk, where her eyes open like this, like she's on that, yeah, you black, so where's my charisma? Bro, she looks bugged out. And I mean, even for like elites, she's hyper bugged out. Like she's staring at people like she's gonna shoot a special beam cannon like Piccolo or something.
She on them pills or something.
Look, all I'm saying is she out here looking like Jake Paul. There's a reason.
Even in Orlando, Godfrey is pulling up with the haymakers and the strays, man. Man, look at here, man. Fellas, this is the men's only round, if you haven't done so already. Kicking off the month of June. Fellas, we got to get to something, man. I know we've probably talked about this a lot, but why do you think it's being hard to be a black man. Why do you think the world, it feels like the world is against us and being a black man in America? Because you think about it, we in the world, we got to deal with the racism on jobs. We got to deal with these Karens out here. And then sometimes we got to go home and some people got to deal with spouses who they be at their necks or people that you live with that be at their necks as well. It's like, it feels like there's a war against black men. It's always been that way for years. So, what do y'all really think it is, and why is it so hard to be a black man? And shout out to everybody on the live.
Let Juggy first do his thing. I want to hear him first.
So, the fulcrum of the black community, black men.
Yeah.
If you could take away the strength of somebody who you consider the opposition, if you can degrade them, make them think less of themselves, make their life hard, remove them from their household like they did with welfare, then you can severely weaken the community to a point where those people don't fight back. Now, we've always, as black men, we've always fought back against the powers that be, but now we're at a place where when we fight back, we need to unify. So I think the reason why they do that is because if we're too busy being weak and depressed, and I haven't forgotten the fact that, a lot of us have been killing black women over these last few months, and that's unacceptable.
That is definitely unacceptable.
Circumstances or anything even close to those actions. I don't personally condone it. I won't speak for Vic, but I don't condone that, and that is wrong. And those men need to rot in prison.
Yes, they do.
But by and large, the vast majority of black men take care of, protect, and look out and think very highly of black women. So for these white racist, white supremacists like the Donald Trumps, have you guys seen? They can't stop talking about our genitalia. They can't, everything we do, they're in our inboxes. They're in our DMs spewing hate and insecurity. Why? Because they don't know who they are. And they've given up their various European backgrounds to quote unquote be white. Newsflash, there is absolutely nothing good about quote unquote being white, which is a made up social construct. As black men, we know who we are. We have a strong, rich history. And so when we fight against the powers that be, when we got to get up, we got to work 16, 17, 18-hour shifts. We got to take care of our kids. We're wondering how we're going to take care of bills. Just realize that by and large, there's more humanity inside of us than these people who hate us.
There is. And it's like, there's a reason that they go so hard to silence us. No matter what it is, they go so hard to silence us because they just can't take the fact that they fucked up. They just can't take accountability for their wrongs.
Guilty.
They are guilty as fuck. And to all my black men out there, I need y'all to be strong out there. And listen, for you once in relationships, if you can't be vulnerable and be weak with your partner, then why the fuck are you with this person? Why the fuck are you with them? Why are you supporting them? Why are you paying their bills? If they can't be your safe space, why the fuck are you with them? Because I see a lot of them complaining on social media about things and how they don't have nobody and stuff, my partner doesn't do this, because there's been so many married men I've seen that is actually taking their lives. If you can't be vulnerable with your partner, why are you with them at the end of the day? Because you're better off just being single and finding your own support system within your bros or somebody you can confide in and stuff. There's always somebody to confide in because, trust me, I know how hard it is to be a black man every day, because every day you wake up, there's more bullshit in the road. Anytime you're driving in the streets in a nice car, it might be a nice neighborhood, you're worried because 12 might get around and might be getting behind you, So I know how hard it is to be it's hard out here to be a black man, but still we rise. Still we fucking rise.
Still we rise, and we know what we can do. But they
okay, Victor Angelou, I see you, boy. I see you, boy. Vic Angelou, okay. Vic Angelou, I see you, boy.
Listen, you gotta be inspired, man, because Cat Williams said it best. If you can live to tell shout everybody over again on his live. If you can live to tell about the shit you've been through, you already won. what was meant to stop you didn't stop you, you know? You've already won. So to all my black men out there, we gotta stay strong, stay vigilant out there. And I know we said this 100 million times. Get help, get professional help if you need it, because it's out there. Because sometimes your family members can't tell you what you need to hear because they only have one image of you, and they haven't evolved their image of you. So sometimes family members ain't always the best people to talk to, and there's certain friends. There are certain friends in your friend group. They feel good when you're not doing good, so don't go to them.
So I'm gonna add on to what both of y'all saying, Yerman. As someone who's dealt with the realities of being a black man, you know, I'm born and raised in New Orleans, and I've seen people that I went to high school with ain't even make it to 19 or 21. And homie, I moved out here in Jacksonville by way of Katrina. Cat I went to high school with, smart dude, intelligent young man. But he got caught up in the wrong crowd, went back to his old ways, and got murdered like 3 months after he graduated high school. And, you know, prayers out to, you know, RP to the homie Buster here. And one thing I started learning as I was writing my new book, you know, I probably talked about it in the last Men's Roundtable. It's called Being Black in America, the 10-Step Program. So the whole synopsis of the book is about Black America acknowledging the problems and the obstacles that we face on a daily and learning how to overcome. You know, y'all said it on the head. You know, Juggy said, you know, we have these daily BSs that we deal with, you know, with our spouses, with our communities, with the jobs, and we just are constantly at a disadvantage. One of the things I talk about in my book, and I'm just going to share it while I'm out here, there's systemic, which we kind of deal with because we're behind the 8 ball. And the more we start to elevate, it's a lot of gatekeeping when it comes to black people. But there's also another factor that we must consider, and that's self-inflicted. As much as we want to be providers in our household, some of the black men are not equipped to be leaders. Some black men didn't have the guidance or the father figures to know how to lead a household. Is it our fault? No. But the harsh reality is, because we're at a disadvantage, we got to be a DIY. We got to know how to do it ourselves. We got to be the protectors for our women. We got to be that backbone for our parents when they're going through bills and going through family issues and health problems and whatnot. But at some point in time, I'm going to say, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, listen, I definitely get all of that, but at some point in time, it's like you got to step up and just do it. You know, at the end of the day, because you have some men out there that, yeah, we none of us are really fully equipped with everything we got, and it's like something, and the ones that are, they're not doing it. Some are doing a good job at this, some aren't. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like it's on you to keep going because we all started with disadvantage. But guess what? It's up to you if you stay in the disadvantage. You got to work towards things, you know, because it's up to you and how you don't control how it starts, but you damn sure control how it finishes because you can use all the excuses of the world to be I'm defeated. But there are some people like us who we see our challenges and we just keep going, you know. It's like, do we have our weak moments? Yeah, but we don't let the weak moments stop us.
Yeah. Amen. But I want to add on to you. What I want to ask you this question. How many of those black brothers, those black young men that we are trying to uplift, how many of them have that mentality like us? Like, you work, Juggy work, I work. And we still make time, no matter the technical difficulties, we still make time to do this podcast. We make time to go out on the weekends because no matter we got $30 or $300 in our pocket, we're going to make some things shake because we're not going to be a part of the mental stranglehold. We already got problems going on in our own domain. But we're going to find a way to make through and through. Because let's be perfectly honest, white supremacy's greatest threat is Black America. You want to know the greatest example of that? The Mann Act. I watched the whole Dave Chappelle stand up and say what y'all want about Dave Chappelle, but when I want to hear some knowledge, I pop a Dave Chappelle on special. And the one thing he mentioned about the Mann Act was basically white supremacy's way of trying to combat against a boxer named Jack Johnson. Because there was no white boxer that could beat a black heavyweight champion in an organized boxing circuit. So, the reason they used the Mann Act in play was because Jack Johnson said it himself, which Dave Chappelle rephrased or paraphrased in his special. Every time I beat all their boxers, I was taking their wives across state and fucking them.
Damn.
Very dangerous, by the way.
It's very dangerous.
It's technically it's sex trafficking, yes. But the fact of the matter is, because they know white people or white supremacists always fear Black America, they use the law to get an advantage of Black America. Why you think there's always been this narrative about Black women being independent, not understanding that being independent is an attribute. That's not a lifestyle. We're the only race that combats with our women. Like, do you know how I actually had a conversation with both of y'all yesterday via text message, and Victor sent me a video about women having a problem with Black men doing this or they giving up on relationship. I just flat out said, bro, just shut the fuck up. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's you.
Yeah. And that's how I felt about that too. That's why I said I said earlier, if you're in a relationship with somebody you can't be, that's not your safe space, then why the fuck you with them? Because that's a lot of times, a lot of those people that will come on the podcast, on social media, bitching and complaining about their problems. You basically are telling on yourself. It's like, because you allowed it. So, and you got to hold yourself accountable for some of these L's, you know?
Yeah. Just remember this, Jeremy. If you take nothing else from what I've said in this soliloquy, Black America has been disconnected from their history, but white America's always been ashamed of their history. That's why they always live off their privilege.
Yes, they do.
Don't forget, like the NFL, the NBA, these sports organizations, we run these leagues. The fact that we have more Black millionaires in the past 20 years than we did back in the 80s and 90s, even though we had entertainers and singers that were making these folks money, but the greatest threat, we just watched his biopic like a few weeks ago, Michael Jackson. He owned half of Sony Public.
Yeah, and that's why we definitely believe it. And because Michael knew the game, and Prince knows the game, and it's like, and Black athletes that know the game, that know how to that's not out here balling. You know, Rick Ross said it in his song best. White man love it when I'm talking about riches and juries, but they hate it when I'm talking about properties and wealth and becoming an LLC. His song Santorini, Greece, I believe that song. He quoted that song, and that's so true, you know. The real power is knowing how to run a business or knowing how to multiply that money. And also, another real power is having the right people in your corner as well. So because like, for example, I know somebody we know of, my former co-host Lashana, her favorite talk show host was Tasha K. And it's like, and I saw something that said, this lady said she lost her dignity because of this Cardi B case. I'm like, who the fuck are your people in your corner? Like, we got to do a better job of uplifting each other from L's, you know? Because as long as you got life in your body, we can come back from L's. Because, and another thing, do y'all think this cornball and president, that's our president right now, stop the fact that he got locked up 34 times, stop him from becoming president? And then he did it, he lived what he predicted in the 90s, because there's a Time Magazine article where they quoted him saying, if he were to run for president, he'd run as a Republican because the Republican voters are dumb. He said that shit 20 years ago, and he manifested it. If he can make that shit happen, why can't we make our own shit happen? I don't mean to put anything positive on what he did. I'm just saying, if he can do it, why can't us? So, men, Black men out there, I need y'all to be strong, no matter what. If y'all don't get anything of this soliloquy, you can come back from anything.
But I feel like here's what Black men and Black women need to start doing. We need to have conversations about accountability. Because that's what the real problem with us is. We've been conditioned to be victims because of historical past. But at some point in time, when are we going to overcome our demons? When are we going to overcome the past? Even though for a fact it's been obvious for centuries, as resilient as they always been, white America, these white supremacists, has always tried to find a way to get a one-up on us by using the law in their favor. They got to hide behind the law when we actually are God-given entities. At some point in time, We got to stop endorsing baby mamas and baby daddies and more husbands than wives. And it's got to start with us. Like, I remember watching Charleston White. I'm not even a Charleston White fan, but he came out of the blue and said something at this little roundtable discussion. And he said, if Black America is going to fix any problems, the Black man needs to first be the bigger person and apologize to the woman that they think they've wronged. Any woman ever in their life, they look like they've ever wronged or they feel like they've wronged along their journey, we need to start fixing the problems in our home. We can't intimidate white supremacy because, let's be perfectly honest, white supremacy already had their perception of us anyway. But some of us keep applying to the stereotypes, and you already know the old phrase, the good has something for the bad.
Yeah. Juggy, what you think on everything?
So my thoughts are, where our moral basis coming from? You know, our moral basis is the foundation of how our worldview and how we perceive everything around us. A lot of us as Black men especially have lost our moral basis. We've lost who we are. Now, me personally, I believe strongly in the Bible. I believe strongly in its tenets. Why? Because I believe that he created the heavens and the earth, and I believe he sent his son to die, and I believe his son died on the cross, and I believe that that man was a Black man.
Thank you.
And a lot of people, what was that, you know?
He said Book of Revelation.
Mm-hmm. A lot of what we have is a spiritual issue. See, we're going by what we see. We're going by the tangible physical things that we see on a daily basis. We're going by our phones, and we're going by the doom scrolling, and we're going by the news that we see that may or may not even be real, because people in other countries, we're bombing them.
We're bombing them and telling them about our problems, but you know, we don't even realize we're not as free as we think. And other countries, they look at the way other countries look at America is how America looks at Florida. Because that's how them other countries are looking at us, thinking we have all these freedoms and stuff, when in reality we don't have that much freedom. And also everything we do is taxed.
You know, I think that we have an opportunity as a collective. We cannot, this thing where America has isolated all of us and put us in these silos. Black people are naturally communal. When you look at tribes in Africa and communities in the great nations of Ethiopia, and South Africans, and of years and centuries and millennia past, their cities were circular. Everybody was on equal terms around each other. We must take the time to physically be around each other, greet each other, ask, how are you doing? What do you need? Ask, you could talk to me, bro. I'm here for you. Each one, teach one. You got so-called quote-unquote YNs that are out of control. You know why they're out of control? It's because there's a lack of love and a lack of community that we are not giving them.
Yes, and a lot of them YNs, they would sit their asses down if the dads were in the house. A lot of them YNs would not be running crazy if the fathers would have stepped up, you know. Shout out to the Black men who are stepping up as well, because in the millennial generation, a lot of them are stepping up. You can tell the ones that are definitely stepping up because they're going to check them YNs out there.
And the crazy part about this is, I've seen this little TV show where, you know, parents and their children are reunited. And I've seen these grown Black men who never known their father, never seen their father, never knew who they were. But as soon as they saw them, they ran, they jumped into their arms, because the one thing that they were missing was that love in their life. It's all about the love that God created us with, that we have to learn how to share with each other.
We definitely
And I understand as Black men, we have these hard Bowser shells on to protect us, because the world is so nasty to us on such a consistent basis. But we have to take off the shell every once in a while and realize that we love each other, we're here for each other, and that we're going to get through it together. and that you can have community. If you don't have community, we've been doing men's only round now for years.
Yes, we have.
You gotta DM us, book a clarity at Real V Jones or
Real V Jones, yes,
at Liquor Talk Podcast.
Yes.
We're here to create that community that we need because you are important to me. I need you to survive.
Yes, we do. We need each other to survive. And listen, and to my fellow black man out there, if you can tell that someone is taking off their shell to you, you fucking respect it. And if there's a time where you just don't have the mental capacity, just say, hey, I don't have mental capacity today. But let's get back to that. If someone is sharing you, fucking respect it. Don't shit on them, because that is the one thing you could do that will make you lose respect for somebody. If they are being vulnerable with you and you throw it in their face later down the line, or if you just ignore them and be nonchalant and not be welcoming to them, that shit is going to come back on you 10 times tenfold. You better believe it. Because that is fucked up.
But here's the add-on to
people to be open up,
But to add on to what y'all saying, I love what y'all saying because we as black men need to continue building that community. You hear me? But to push back on what you're saying, it goes back to what I said in the beginning. At what point in time do we as black men start holding our own accountable? If you know for a fact there's a dude in your inner circle that ain't doing right by his old lady, ain't doing right by his children, you need to cut that dude off. I'm pro-black as anybody else, but like, bro, at some point in time, like, you can't save everybody. The people that want the guidance, the people that want the mentorship, hey, come on, holler at you right quick. Come grab a drink with us. Let me peep game right quick. I've been here out here longer than you. You probably been out here in these streets longer than me at a young age. But look, at some point in time, we need to start demanding stability. We need to start manifesting stability in our lives. So we all have our own little issues. I got my family issues. I got my little personal problems. But you know what? I already see the light at the end of the tunnel because I manifested what I want, what God has in store for me. When I see the Liquor Talk podcast, I've been out here for 2 years. I already see the light at the end of the tunnel. We just got to continue the steps going forward. No matter what we go through, when it comes to women and brothers and sisters and shit like that, we have the structure. We just need to get that breakthrough. We just need to organize a game plan. And when it comes to Black America, some of us, we don't know. We're too busy not knowing how to either be the boss. We don't know how to. We got to be the boss. Let me say this. I'm misquoting, so I apologize. Too many of us want to be the boss. None of us want to be like the henchman. We don't want to be the right-hand man of the woman. We got to be the boss everywhere. Like, sometimes you need to elevate this one person up so when he bring you up, now you peep his game and you can start building your crew from within. We know how the pyramid scheme works. One person going to bring 3 more people in and his 3 going to bring his other 3. So now you bringing in a whole faction. Now you bringing in your crew. Now you bringing in more people so you can elevate. That's how Black America is supposed to be. But until Black America is willing to acknowledge what's going on in their own inner circle and it starts to acknowledge like, hey, I'm tired of surviving. I'm ready to live. We're going to keep having these same problems. That's why white supremacy can think they can get away with saying nigga to us in person like that goofy ass Ned Flanders looking ass nigga that went to jail and shit like that.
I saw that too, and I'm happy that Judge hit him with that belt of $1.25 million. It should have been higher, Yeah, you can't be going around here looking like Ned Flanders or Joe Dirt, looking like the Dukes of Hazzard around here, talking all this shit, But listen, fellas, I do have to get to a question that was asked by a lady. Shout out to Miss Sydney Green. She asked the fellas. She wanted to know why are men so passionate about dismantling misogyny compared to dismantling racism. That's what she wanted to ask the fellas. And I thought, and I had to think about this one, because I know a lot of men that they pride themselves in misogyny, but that's not over here. We don't stand for that shit. We equal rights around here,
Yeah.
But what do y'all think?
Equal opportunity. I'll jump in on this one here, man. In the mind of men, misogyny, they can control. Racism, they can't.
That's a fact. And that's a fact. And also, it's also sometimes, yes, it is that, but also look at the person allowing the control to happen, because you can say no to misogyny at any time, but some people they allow it, they allow it to happen. You don't have to go along with it. You can just walk away from the person, and actually teach the man a lesson that misogyny is not okay.
So
go ahead.
Here's where I am. Racism is something that both black men and women experience. But misogyny is only something that black women experience. Now, Malcolm X said that black women are the most vulnerable population in the United States of America.
Yeah, of course.
So, black men, unfortunately, do participate in misogyny. Black men participate in misogyny. And that's because we've been adjacent to this racist white supremacist regime. And when you look at it from a political perspective, where about 76% of black men voted for Kamala Harris in the presidential election versus about 92% of black women voted for her, you could see that one of the primary reasons why is because they have an issue with authority. A lot of that has to do with broken families. A lot of that has to do with the poverty in our neighborhoods, lack of social development, good schools for us, and what we've been pushed onto with music and TV shows and the things that we've been taught. What we have to do is say, you know what? As men, we've probably all participated in misogyny at some point. You've done it. You're an imperfect person. That's not the issue. The issue is did you grow out of it as a black man and realize that black women are the only true allies that we actually have?
Yes.
And the minute you grow from that, you get to therapy and you apologize and you start growing and become a man and taking accountability. As black men, we have to take accountability. Then and only then can we grow, and then misogyny becomes lower on the scale. And then we just have that one big elephant in the room, which is racism, to deal with as a communal team together.
Yes, of course. And men,
I
it
like
starts
the
with
fact
us.
that
'Cause I know a lot of men like to say that, oh, women don't take accountability. Well, we got to start. We got to be the leaders. We are the alpha dogs for a reason. We got to step up and we got to take accountability for our actions. And if that woman doesn't do right by you, doesn't take accountability, just kick her ass to the curb and get you one that will. Stop wasting our time with people out there who you know ain't going to take accountability, and get you somebody that will. Now, what were you going to say, Godfrey?
I just love the fact that, like, Juggy's saying what I said previously, like, we as black men need to start applying accountability. Like, yeah, there's some black women in this world that don't apply accountability, but not all black women. And at some point in time, like, it goes back to this narrative of independent women, or men feel like they gotta have 3-4 different women to feel empowering. But that's like, over time, you start to realize, like, it's kind of like false empowerment, bro. That's kind of like filling voids. As someone used to mingle around with multiple women, I have conversations with women here and there. I'd rather just be honest with a woman and tell them, like, look, baby, you're beautiful, you deserve better, but I can already tell, like, your head ain't all right. You got a couple past relationships that you're dealing with. You got a kid that you're trying to take care of. You got a mountain full of bills you're taking care of. You got all these things you're trying to get done at one time. As broken as Black America looks from the outside in, 99.9% of the problems that we face could easily be done with, like, a simple conversation, a simple sit down. You know what? Even if we didn't work out, we're going to do what's best for the kid. Even with things that work out, hey, do you need help with your light bill? Hey, you need help with a phone bill? You ain't got to go on Instagram and try to show some cheeks to make you some rent money here. I mean, like, nah. Value yourself as the queens and the kings that you are destined to be, that you are privileged to be. And at some point in time, like, we got to start fixing the problems from within. Like Juggy said, the black woman, according to Malcolm X, is, the most disrespected, the most unprotected, and the most neglectful person in America. Sometimes you can make a case for the black man. And because of that division, because one person's problem is more prevalent than the other, when it's like, no, we both have problems. How about we stop fussing about the problem and let's start addressing some solutions? Like, we'll get to an age now. I got to a point now. Yeah, at some point in time, and I want to add on to this. At some point in time, at our ages, like I'm 38. I know Juggy 37. You probably like 35, 36 year man. I ain't trying to deal with these problems when I'm in my 40s and 50s. And we already dealing with broken home problems. Like, nah, we get to an age now where like even my family, we're starting to become more of a family because now we got a younger generation that looks up to us and we gotta set an example for them. So at what point in time do we look at the OGs in our generation and say, you know what? I understand why you were raised this way, but the game has changed and we want you to come evolve with us. We want to build these family reunions. We want to check up on one another. Like, ever since my pops passed 7 years ago, I kept in touch with my mama, my grandma, my auntie, my brothers, Danny every day. Because once you start losing family members, you ain't worrying about like the next bill. You worrying about, hey, I'm trying to be here for like the next generation. I'm trying to make sure that my people's is set. I'm trying to make sure I give them the knowledge and the funds. So when it's my time to go or when I reach that breakthrough, you follow what I've done and you pass it down to the next generation. That's what Black America needs to start applying more. Because all this advanced technology going on, we should have no choice to be dysfunctional as fuck, especially when we live in a time in centuries that white America has always proven they needed black people more than we needed them.
Yes. That fact is so true. And if you don't believe it, go back and look in your history books about the times that there were cities in America that were bombed. There were black cities that were bombed and washed away because we were proving that we didn't fucking need y'all. So yeah, I totally agree with everything you said.
Let me add on to what you said, Vic. Let me add on to what you said, Vic. World War I. Who did those white people call to fight the war in Germany or fight the war in Germany? They called black people. When we had that war in Japan, who they called? Us. But we the ones still get treated like second-class citizens.
And that's a damn shame. We out here fighting the good fight. And also, shout out to all the veterans out there. We know Memorial Day just passed one time for all the vets out there. And also, we'll close with this. What is something y'all want to tell your dads out there? Because Father's Day is this month. And please celebrate the dads that are stepping up in the community. Even if they're not the biological dads, celebrate the dads that are stepping up. Shout out to the OGs that are in the community, making a positive impact. Celebrate them because they are doing a damn good job. What's something y'all want to say to the dads out there?
So I'll go first. Dad, thank you. Thank you for the things that you went through. You made a decision not to put it on me and my siblings. You made a decision to be an upstanding man that's always treated my mom right, that's always worked hard, that taught me the meaning of both hard work, both physically, mentally, and spiritually. Thank you for always being there. Thank you for being a man that knows how to apologize when you felt that you were wrong, even when dealing with me, even though you're my dad. I thank you for being a dad, not just to me, but many other people in our community and in our church. And I promise that I'll do everything I can to at least be half the man that you are. I love you very much, and I can't wait to talk to you again.
Well said, well said. Godfrey, what do you want to say to all the dads out there? And I am sorry for your loss.
Hey, it's all good. You remember Pops passed away 7 years ago, but he always looking down. You know, RIP to my Pops, Godfrey Williams Sr. You know, he wasn't perfect, but he was always there when I needed him. You know, my big bro, he was my father figure. We all going through some trying times. Anytime he needed to call, you know, I reach out. Anytime I'm in Duval, you know, I'm going to check up on him and my niece. My damn niece about to be 13, you know what I mean? Time be flying like a motherfucker. So all the fathers out there, that real active fathers, you know what I mean? Salute to y'all. To the fathers out here that ain't got a good rapport with their child's mother, you know what I mean? Get right. Because time gonna keep flying and you're gonna miss out on precious memories over like temporary feelings. Right your wrongs while you got them now. And for the deadbeats, fuck it.
Of course, I agree with everything you said. First off, to the dads out there in the community that are stepping up, shout out to all y'all. Y'all are doing wonderful, and we champion you this month. Take a bow. Turn up. It is your day. You deserved it, dads, because you guys are kings, and y'all did the damn thing in the community and taking care of your kids. Shout out to those men as well. To the deadbeats, remember, it's never too late to take accountability. Take accountability before it's too late, because you would hate, you would hate to be one of these older men who are in the nursing home and nobody come to see you. You just in there and left for dead because no one's coming to check up on you. Wow. Yeah, because that happens to deadbeats. That happens to deadbeats because there are people that get left in the nursing homes and nobody goes to check on them and stuff. So those stories out there. So shout out to the dads out there who are stepping up and doing the damn thing. On a personal note, to my father, Larry Jones, just know I forgive you for not being a dad, because you had 35 years to be a dad and you never were. And all you knew how to do was make babies. Two of my sisters be up your ass, and me and my sister I get along with, that's in Texas. We the ones actually doing shit with our lives, and I forgive you. And you know what? And I'm be honest, Mom, I forgive you too. I forgive you, but you got my mom to thank. And to my ladies out there, single moms, be careful of the men you bring around your sons, because those men who are being stepdads, who are treating your sons like shit, you gonna pay for it when they get to college. Ask my mom about that, how she know about that. So my Uncle Gene, listen, thank you. You taught me what resiliency is, man, because you were a father figure to me in spite of the hate that you got from my mother, and I always appreciate you for it. Even in times that we butted heads, you always came back to show love, to show, hey, I'm only doing this because this is how I felt. And I always will see you as a dad figure. I don't give a fuck about what my mom has said about you in the past. Mom, I love you, but you know you're wrong. You know you did wrong, And listen, don't be afraid to hold your parents accountable, y'all. So, but happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, once again, who are stepping up, celebrate those days. You bitter ass baby mamas, I don't want to hear shit about, oh, I'm the mom and the dad. Ma'am, you made that decision yourself, because some of y'all women, y'all shut out the dads and from stepping up. And now to the ones that aren't stepping up, like Godfrey said, fuck you. But just know, you got time to turn it around as long as you got life in your body. You got time to take accountability and turn things around. Just do it before it gets too late, because I really would hate for you to pass away or something significant happen to you and you realize that I was a piece of shit to my kids and now I can't turn it around. Now I'm on my deathbed regretting the fact that I wasn't a better man. So once again, shout out to all the fathers out there who are doing the damn thing out there. And also, while we out there, turn up for Juneteenth, fuck you, Idaho, whatever random ass city in Idaho that struck down Juneteenth as a holiday and reinstated Columbus Day. Fuck y'all. We're not going to that random ass, small ass city in Idaho, So it's sad that y'all don't want to celebrate Juneteenth.
In fairness, I gotta say this. I understand it's a fuck you to Idaho, but what did you expect from a state that's known for potatoes? They're known for potatoes.
No, I get what you're saying, but the fact that it was broadcasted, they were making such a big deal about it.
First of all, I'm even outraged that we're even talking about Idaho, nigga. We ain't even talking about Idaho State. We're not even talking about the Statue of Liberty. We ain't even talk. We talk about fucking potato ass Idaho, bro. Fucking flaky ass, baked potato ass Idaho. Trying to disrespect Juneteenth. They probably got fucking cousin wives and shit like that out there in the streets. We ain't worrying about no fucking Idaho.
Yeah.
Wait, first of all, I would be a coon if I'm doing Juneteenth in Idaho. What we talking about, bro? I'd rather. First of all, I would rather learn how to. I would rather have Jamarcus Russell do my taxes than to do a Juneteenth in Idaho. What are you talking about?
And this is how we close Liquor Talk. Not forgiving everyone giving the damn state of Idaho series. So just fuck Boise State in the blue turf, I guess, huh?
What
Well, hey, look, them blue turfs is fire and whatnot, but look, Trump supporters and the state of Idaho can eat a dick. Airlines
They
won.
can't. And anybody trying to cancel Juneteenth, you can eat a dick and die slow too, you know. Turn up for Juneteenth, y'all. Go to the festivals, network out there, celebrate Juneteenth. And also, June is Black
Juneteenth in
Music
Tampa
Month as well.
I got invited to a Juneteenth event in Tampa.
Yes, they got, and I think they got a Juneteenth event in Orlando as well. So find where the Juneteenth event is in your cities and turn up for it, y'all. That is how we're going to close this episode of Liquor Talk. JD, how can the people get a hold of you, man? Because you putting out great content. I need you to continue putting out great content. And also, if the mayor of Tampa and St. Pete want to come holler at me, let me know. Come holler at me. Man, holler at my dog as well. But how can the people get a hold of you, man?
Follow me at Book of Clarity, all one word, on YouTube and TikTok. Again, TikTok and YouTube at Book of Clarity. Breakdowns every other day. Locally, what's happening here at Pinellas and St. Pete. We got candidate interviews with people running for office. Y'all want a better life. Y'all want things to be better. Y'all support me on the journey. Like, share, and subscribe. Vic, as always, my brother, I appreciate you.
Hey, man, I appreciate you as well. I appreciate you for sticking to it and out here doing the damn thing as well. Out here talking to these candidates, y'all. Y'all can learn something about the candidates. Mr. N.O., we know you got the book coming soon. So how can the people get a hold of you?
Holler at me on YouTube, New Orleans Finest, TikTok, with their little raggedy asses, 504, Instagram, 504. Holler at me on all three platforms, Jeremy. We making moves, not excuses, in 2026 and beyond.
Yes, we are. We are. And thank you to my fellas for coming to have a drink with me as always. And thank you to everybody at home who came out to have a drink with us on the Liquor Talk, whether you tuned in on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We're on the road to 400 episodes, y'all. Y'all be on the lookout. The website is coming, and episode 400 will be in person. All those details are coming. Keep pouring up with us. Keep turning up with us. And as always, if you want to come on down and come have a drink with us on the Liquor Talk, come on down. The DMs are open. We in Florida, but the DMs are open. Bring your asses. And I don't give a damn if you don't drink. So quit making that fucking excuse out there, because I know that's people be like, oh, I don't drink. Bitch, bring your fucking ass down here and come tell your damn story on the Liquor Talk. Until the next episode, peace.
Peace.
God damn.